Tuesday night, lights low, sparks fly. War report after dark, better fall in line. From WWE to TNA, AU to Spark. Vince the Prince from the Northeast set it off in the dark. OG Steve led the charge. Cat Al, Eric us, 9 p.m. Eastern. Acknowledge the ring, acknowledge us.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. Tribal Combat is days away. We've got Clash in Italy. We've got AEW Double or Nothing. We have SmackDown. We have a lot to cover. Monday Night Raw. Al, what's going on with you, my brother?
Not much, man. As a New Yorker, I'm also excited. Big ups to the fucking New York Knicks for making it back to a championship since 1998, if I'm not mistaken, and possibly the first championship since 1975. Life is good. I'm just afraid they might need to call Batman if they win the championship because it's going to be fucking Gotham City in New York City.
I just hope you're thinking Danhausen. Because
all day.
It's so funny. They have not lost since.
11-game winning streak since Danhausen uncursed them.
One of which was a comeback being down 21 points and sweeping the series. It's unbelievable. But yes, but everyone, welcome to another edition. We got a lot to cover. We got some comments already. We got David Roscoe over at YouTube. Obafemi owns Brock Lesnar for giving him 4 F5s. We will definitely get into that. Tara's with us. Hello, Tara. Thank you, Danhausen. Yeah, it's just so funny how that just happened to work out. But listen, they should put him courtside.
Every game.
He's like a good luck charm.
Where's he from, by the way? Like, do you know where he's from? Where he originates from?
No idea.
Is he an American or is he like a foreigner, like from Europe or something? Do you know?
I have not a clue. I think he's American, but I really don't know. I'd be just totally guessing, to be honest with you. But I don't even know where to start. I kind of want to start with I think I want to start with Raw just because it's so fresh in my mind. David Roscoe, Knicks will win the NBA championship. God, I hope so, man. Your mouth to God's ears. New York needs a win. So a lot to uncover when it comes to Monday Night Raw, and again in a good way. This was 2 Monday Night Raws in a row that I thought were really good. Some really good matches, and then of course. Some big things that took place, especially the main event, which was the official contract signing of Jacob and Roman, and then they had their. We'll break all that down. It was good. I want to kind of get into the Brock Lesnar thing because Roscoe kind of brought it up to start the show, and I like how they opened with Paul Heyman in the ring cutting a promo. Anytime you have Paul Heyman, it's gold. And he does his promo, and then, of course, he gets interrupted by Oba. Oba comes out, scares the shit out of Heyman. And Oba pretty much tells him, so in Heyman's promo, then a video package comes up, and it's Brock now explaining everything, which I thought was awesome. Vince, what's going on, brother?
No, man, how's it going?
Good. So
what's up, Vince?
We're talking about Brock Oba and how I like how Heyman, opened the show with the promo, and then they went to the video package where it was Brock kind of explaining his position with everything, and still saying he's retired. But in wrestling, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, obviously. Right. And then I like how Oba came out and basically said, "What I've awoken in Brock, what do you think was awoken with me?" He made it personal. 4 F5s. I'm not going to Clash in Italy to beat Brock Lesnar. I'm going to kill him. So it was just a great segment. Heyman sold the shit out of it as usual. And I thought it was a great way to open Monday Night Raw. It definitely got me excited for the show.
It's crazy. Like, I don't know what this whole thing is with Brock Lesnar. I assume he actually is, at the end of this run, whenever that may be, is going to actually retire.
Well, that makes the question, like, is he going to have this match with Oba and then it's over? Or is he going to have a couple more matches? Or is he just going to do what he's been doing and just show up every now and then and wrestle for a week or two and then go back to the farm?
I mean, he could do that forever.
He could.
I could only assume that we are going to get a rubber match ending at least this feud in SummerSlam with Oba going over, because I don't see how Brock loses to Oba this time around. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it makes all the sense in the world to let him go over and then keep the feud going to SummerSlam. What happens after SummerSlam? I don't know. Does he retire at WrestleMania against Gunther?
I don't necessarily think we're getting Brock through Mania. My gut tells me SummerSlam, it's over.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam, and he allows Oba to go over in the rubber match is what you're thinking?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a third match. I don't know if they decide to pull the trigger and do the Gunther Brock. I mean, me personally, I said it last week, I think that ship has sailed, in my opinion. But, it seems to be people in the internet world still want to see that match happen. So, and I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see it. I feel like the hype is, now that I got Oba Brock, to me, the hype is gone with the idea of Gunther Brock. David Roska did the research for us. Danhausen, Michigan.
Michigan, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited though. I think I like how it's not the free match this time. It's going to be further down the card. I'm just curious to see how it goes. I'm not convinced that Oba loses. I'm not convinced that he wins either. So I kind of like how I really don't know how to call this one.
It would be such a big power move if Oba goes 2-0 against Brock Lesnar. Like, that really, putting him over once is big. Putting him over twice in a row without that rubber match in there is like a big cosign.
Insane.
And not only that, but he put him over almost the entire build leading up to WrestleMania too. Brock made Oba look like gold.
Right, which kept us thinking like, oh, Brock might go over because how good Oba's looking for leading up to the match, and he still killed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but for funny thing today, right? I ran into this. It was like when I was watching something on YouTube that had to do with like Marvel, and then it jumped into some wrestling stuff, and it was going like, oh, champs. The man throughout the years in the 2000 from like 97 to 2005, which is what they're calling like the best era of wrestling because of all the talent that went through and held it down and all that. And when it got to like Brock Lesnar showing all his accolades, like the youngest guy, he goes to SummerSlam, beats the living hell out of The Rock, which is the hottest wrestler at the time. They just put him on a pedestal, right? And it's just crazy how he's just passing the torch almost in the same way, being dominated, being one of the guys that did the dominating in his time. So it was pretty interesting that I ran into that today.
That is interesting. We got to see Penta versus Javon Evans. And if you didn't see the match, you need to go back and watch it and find it somewhere. I could watch the two of them wrestle all day long. The match was great. They counted each other back and forth. They had some big spots. I don't know how Javon Evans didn't break his back in half. There was a spot where he flew out to Penta standing in front of the announce table, and his entire back went across the edge of the announce table. I don't know how he was able to continue. But what a great match. And I'm glad to see Penta win. They also started to tease kind of the idea of a heel Javon Evans. I'm hoping that was just frustration because I just think it's too soon to change him.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, he's so over right now, and he's got that smile and, Mr. Bouncy. I don't think you give up on that yet.
No, but it does kind of seem like of the three guys they called up, Trick, Javon, and Oba, at one point I thought it was going to be Trick that was the one that got left in the dust, and now he's kind of breathed new life with this gingerbread man thing.
And I think that was kind of the original plan, and the crowd said, no, we like this guy, and we're going to cheer for him. They had no choice.
Yeah, but you also don't need to just ignore Javon. Listen, he put in a good showing, but ultimately he lost. They're gonna have to.
I'm sorry, Vince. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was basically they're just gonna have to give him, something soon.
I was actually surprised he lost. I mean, I thought Penta's had a pretty good run. They let him go over in WrestleMania. I thought this was Javon's turn to go over
Same.
On a face-to-face. So I was actually shocked that he did not go over in this match.
I think this match proved to people that Javon can be that guy to be IC champion. And they definitely left it open with that backstage afterwards that they're going to have another match. It's going to happen. And I think that's where the Javon... I wouldn't be surprised if they... I don't know if it's too soon because Clash in Italy is already this Sunday, but maybe they throw it on the card.
You know what it tells me, though, too, Steve? It just tells me that IC or a mid-card is his top level, per se. It's like they're making him struggle so hard to get there that it's like I don't see they see him as a WWF... WWE heavyweight championship contender in any way.
Well, I think he's too fresh and too new. You got to remember, he's just coming up from NXT. I mean, it's been, I don't even think a full year yet. So I don't think there's any eyes on thinking that he'd be a world champion. He's got to start in mid-card, and then eventually he could impress the right people and maybe contend to a world title. I mean, if Kofi Kingston could have done it, similar, well, even I think Javon's taller than him, but you know what I mean? Same build, not like,
right.
But I think there's definitely potential there for Javon to be a world champion down the line, but he's still a baby. I mean, he's still getting his feet wet and doing a great job. I mean, that's no disrespect to Javon. He's impressed the hell out of me since day one.
I agree. I think he's good. I think he's probably set, they might already have a ceiling for him in mind, and they probably had the same thing with Kofi. Like, Kofi was never a serious world title contender until shortly before that hot run. So it could, it could be just one of those things where the fans determine it's time and he's earned their respect and they want to cheer for him and give him that main event push.
Right. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a year or two down the line, him being a Money in the Bank winner and cashing in and,
It's true.
I mean,
the way I look at him is like the most I could see him getting if he ever gets to that level is like a Darby Allin type championship run. It's like, hey, thank you, you deserved it. Fans wanted you to have one. It'll be nice, short, and sweet, and then somebody will get the belt back.
It's very possible. I think it's just too early in his career to speculate what kind of run he would have,
Right.
because again, it's so fresh. I mean, he came up. I mean, I guess with Javon, it's kind of different because he was making appearances here and there, but if his official call up, I think was right after WrestleMania.
Right.
I mean, he was still doing matches and he was still doing spots and stuff. Because I think he was even a part of the John Cena final tournament, right? So,
and even before Mania, he did a couple of matches on SmackDown or Raw that I remember.
Right, yeah. Like every now and then you would see him pop up and have a great match, take the L, but, did a great job. In fact, there were a few he even got over on. By the way, we got to mention Logan Paul.
Oh, man.
Is out. indefinitely. There is no timetable for the return at this time, but that sucks. I mean, he's been doing such a great job. It's an unfortunate injury. You kind of like when the spot happened, it looked awkward. So I'm not surprised. But what was it? The bicep? Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
torn
Torn
bicep.
So that's a timetable, man. So that sucks.
Any,
But I
any
am
word on Bronson Breed when he's coming back?
well. I'm glad you mentioned Bronson Reed because there are some pictures surfacing,
Mhm.
and it sounds like he's going to be ready to return soon. And apparently, he is looking jacked as fuck.
Really?
In fact, I wonder if I can find.
Like in shape jacked?
Oh,
yeah, he posted on like either Instagram or something like that. It's him at the gym getting ready, and he's like posting some cryptic shit like he's gonna be him and then Buddy Murphy on AEW's side. Buddy Murphy's posting like he's gonna be coming back soon, so that's good for him.
Coming back to AEW or WWE?
To AEW, he's been injured for quite a while.
Is he still dating Rhea Ripley?
I think they're married.
Oh, okay.
Disappointing, right?
Oh yeah, no, they're married.
Nah, I mean, it's all right. She's not my cup of tea. I used to like her thicker anyways.
You're funny.
I gotta ask you, since we're talking about young talent that has to get over, even though they're losing, Sol Ruka.
I mean,
Yeah,
she won,
so
technically. She finally won.
Yeah. All right. Yes, this is the picture we were talking about.
You see that?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's looking good.
Yeah,
He's looking
good.
lean.
Yeah, that was the thing. He was always a little bit, like you said about Rhea, he was always a little bit thicker, which is fine. It's good for his character and everything, but also, your health is another thing. So I guess if you want to take care of your health, you fix that.
Yeah. But so Bronson's coming back soon. So what's Sol Ruka's injury?
No, not injury. I'm just saying we were talking
Well,
about
no,
Javon.
apparently she's injured also.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
but
She
I
was
don't
injured.
think it's anything. I don't think it's anything as severe. But I did hear something that she's injured, and I didn't hear exactly what. Although there was another botched.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth. The way she wrestles, I'm not surprised she's injured, bro. She's a high flyer, high risk,
she's
a lot
so
of
good.
maneuvers.
She's so good. And you know what? And I don't blame Sol for the second botch of the finish because Jessica Carr was out of place, and it threw the whole thing off.
Yeah, that interference finisher thing. Like I know what they were trying to do, and it didn't work. And I think we are one more I don't even know, soul snatcher botch away from her having a new finisher. If she fucks this up one more, and it doesn't even have to be her fault, because the last couple times it wasn't necessarily her fault. She could fuck this up one more time, and that could be it for the old soul snatcher. As cool as a move as it looks, it's
Right.
like it's so much dumber to set up than like the 619 has to have so many coincidental things happen for Rey Mysterio to hit the 619. It's the same thing with the soul snatcher, and it's the same thing with what's her name, the rock star girl on NXT. She does the enziguri, where the person has to like do a cheerleading lift on her to like lift her up to do it. And it's like, you're just lifting her up in the air and she's hitting you in the face. Why are you just don't lift her?
Right. I think she beats Becky at Clash of Italy with a perfect soul snatcher, and then it will continue. If she fucks it up at the Clash, then yeah, I agree. There'll be something else. But I don't. I think she's gonna nail it. I do. I think she's gonna nail it.
I'm also with Al on like the way she wrestles. To me, is very reminiscent of Lita, and Lita was a great wrestler. But Lita also did shit like she did that Fez press from the apron to the floor on Trish Stratus, and then like fucked her knee up for a long time. Like she was out
broke
for like
her
a
neck
year.
doing
a
dive.
She was. Didn't she injure herself doing a stunt on Dark Angel? What was that show?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, she messed up. She was doing like a wire work kung fu fight stunt and messed herself. So like it's almost like Darby Allin, except somehow Darby Allin hasn't sustained some serious injury. Sol Ruka wrestles in that kind of pace.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Speaking of pace, I love what they're doing with Austin Theory right now, because now he's pissed. And he's attacking everybody that was involved with Logan getting injured. So he beat Joe Hendry to hell with the steel chair, and then he beat Dawkins.
Damn.
I think it was Dawkins, right? Dawkins is the bigger one.
Yeah.
He beat Dawkins down. But the match Seth Rollins versus Montez was fucking great. I mean, it was another solid, great match. And now it looks like they're going to work together. So that's going to be interesting. You had Bayley and Lyra versus Raquel and Roxanne, was actually a good match. LA Knight promo with Jimmy was weird to me. Like, LA Knight hasn't been around in so long, but now, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. But I will tell you this, too. You know who is slowly becoming my new favorite personality in WWE?
What's that?
All ego Ethan Page. His facials are so great. His in-ring work is so great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
His arrogance, his cockiness. I love everything about him. It was the only good part of Saturday night's main event, as far as I'm concerned. We didn't even talk about Saturday night's main event. It was a glorified SmackDown Raw to me. Like, I feel like at this point they're just fulfilling their contract with Peacock, so they're throwing something out there.
It does feel like that.
Every match was sloppy. The
It
only
reminded me
match
of Thunder. Remember Thunder back
yes,
in the day?
Thunder.
The show
I
nobody
agree.
wanted to do.
The only thing I really enjoyed, to be honest, was the women's 6-man tag to start the show with Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte.
That was pretty good.
But that, other than that, and Ethan Page Penta was good, but I don't know, nothing else really impressed me about the show.
Yeah.
So here's YouTube. Walk Always. Is wrestling still fun?
Watch AEW Double or Nothing from Sunday and tell me if wrestling is still fun. Wrestling is fun as fuck.
Yes. Wrestling as a whole is still fun.
100%.
Tribal Combat contract signing. I like how they acknowledged that Jacob can't touch Roman now until Tribal Combat, because that's part of the tradition.
Yep.
I like how they cut the promo back and forth. And I love how the last vision you see of the night is them with their hands together and their foreheads together, just like tradition. I'm excited for this match. I am convinced now more than ever, based off that promo, Jacob is losing.
Yeah.
The fact that Jacob acknowledged the fact that it's a win-win for me. If I lose, I still have a job. And if I win, I'm tribal chief. Like, to me, that just justified you losing, which I thought was very weird. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a very bizarre turn in the promo, but it still doesn't have me any less excited for this match. And the fact that they're in Italy, the crowd is going to be insane. I'm just curious to see what shenanigans we have. And, does Roman have people to come help him? Because this is a different Roman now, in a way. So it's going to be, I don't see how the Usos don't get involved. And
Somehow,
do we get a new Bloodline member? It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on with this match.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. I think there's almost no chance that Jacob wins this match. Does that mean he wins at SummerSlam? Does that mean somebody else wins at SummerSlam? Does this mean Roman holds the title until WrestleMania next year? I don't know. Once again, I hope, because they did this with Cody and they didn't execute. They gave him the title and didn't have a plan.
See, here's my thing too. I still, part of me, I can't get myself to see Jacob ever acknowledging Roman.
Right.
So where does that go? But the other part of me is like, I think about the beginning of the bloodline, like the very beginning. And Roman's first big feud was against Jay.
Yeah.
And he beat the hell out of him
Yes,
to
he
the
did.
point where he stepped in line and he acknowledged his tribal chief. And then you got the beginnings of what became the Bloodline Saga. I feel like this is the same story,
Mhm.
but instead of Jay, it's Jacob.
That does
But
what it
will
is.
Jacob fall in line? And that's where I'm iffy. But if they go back to how they did it the first time around, don't fix what didn't break. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And it's another match that I can't call. Like, my gut says Jacob loses for sure. But there's still a part of me that says, well, it would be very interesting
It would be. I
to
agree.
watch Roman have to acknowledge Jacob and take orders from Jacob Fatu. Like, it
Right.
would be a whole different dynamic, and it does
That ain't
change
happening.
the whole direction of the story that we've never seen before. So, there's intrigue in that direction also.
That's the reason. That is the reason Jacob ain't winning. Because like that's the OTC, man. Like that's great. Like you know what? I would actually wouldn't mind seeing that, seeing the adjustment and him having to bow down to somebody else.
And
Right.
especially if it's Jacob. You know what I mean? The unhinged Jacob. And Roman
Would
has
you want
to
somebody
acknowledge.
Right.
Would you want somebody at the head of the table that unhinged?
I mean, if he wins tribal combat, he's earned the head of the table. He's earned the seat.
Yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
earns the Ulafala and the championship.
Is it for the championship? Did they acknowledge that already?
It is for the championship. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They have acknowledged it. So I'm excited. And not for nothing, this lineup at Clash at Italy is a stacked pay-per-view. I mean, it's actually turning out to be a decent show.
It seems like they recognize that the international crowds are always so rowdy. They want to give them something, and they
Right.
they've been giving them these big matches now for the last couple years. These clashes in Italy and Germany or Scotland or wherever else.
You've got Roman Jacob, Cody versus Gunther, which Cody Gunther, I think, is kicking off the night free on ESPN in that first hour. So I think that match is opening the show. Which, does Gunther win?
I hope
I mean,
so, man. I really hope so.
I do too,
Yeah.
but
Should he win? Yes. Is my gut telling me that he's not going to, because they've already established that despite being able to beat a lot of other people, for whatever reason, Cody seems to have this guy's number.
well, remember, Cody's easy to find and he's hard to beat, as he likes to say now.
Mm.
Every chance he gets. Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. I don't see how Rhea doesn't win again and retain the title. I don't see them giving it back to Jade. But should be a decent match. Becky Lynch, Sol Ruka. I think Sol's taking the title.
That would be nice. It would be nice to see some title changes, because the established Triple H thing so far has been very long, which isn't a bad thing, but also there is a balance between, how many times or how long can somebody hold a belt. It's like, we get it. Cody and Becky have been champions for forever and a day. We understand. It's time
But
to
you know
roll
what,
dice.
though? Playing devil's advocate. They're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. Because we'll sit here on this show and we'll bitch and complain when the title keeps flip-flopping and changing hands quickly. And then we complain, or people out in the universe complain, when the title reigns are too long. So you know, what is that happy medium at that point? You know, like to me, Roman's run the first time, or not the first time, but the Bloodline
Yes.
Championship
Yeah.
run,
Yeah.
as long as it went, I still wasn't ready for him to lose. I could have seen that go on and
Mhm.
go on and go on and go on, and I would have been fine. So, but then I look at Cody and I'm like, okay, like I'd be okay if Cody didn't retain the title.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I just think, you know, they have established this thing with Gunther where he seems to have a trouble with Cody. And that's,
Well,
you know, that's a big part of the story.
also keep in mind, all due respect to Cody Rhodes and his new run when he came back and all that, he is no fucking tribal chief. Like his storylines aren't, they have not been able to evolve his character to that extent of the tribal chief. Hence why we get tired of him a lot sooner,
That's true.
right?
Yeah,
Like his stick is a little bit less evolved. Hence, when he comes back out here and says, "So what do we want to talk about?" or this new fucking stick he got now of easy to find, hard to beat. Like, well, that's been
right.
going on for what, a month, and we're already tired of it. Like, you know, like we're still acknowledging the tribal chief, and we're tired of talking about what Cody wants to talk about.
We just lost Vince.
Yeah, like it's I don't.
My
It said it
camera.
overheated and was shutting down.
Yeah, I have so that new camera that I bought, I changed it over to 60 frames a second to see what's up, but if you do it to 60 frames a second, apparently it overheats.
That's
Steve,
fucking funny. Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
even Vince Computer is tired of me talking about Cody Rhodes. That shit
Everybody's
overheated.
tired about listen,
So
everybody's
his
tired
computer
of Cody
proved
Rhodes.
my point.
It's very true.
But the Cody like I agree with you. He found this, you know, he started developing this character on the indies when he right after he requested his release. And aside from like dyeing his hair blonde and changing to more USA themed gear instead of like he was wearing like Mandalorian themed gear for a while. And it still is kind of Mandalorian themed, but now it's USA colored. But you're right. The what do you want to talk about? Does everybody know my dad's Dusty Rhodes? All this stuff. Like we've been there. This is the same thing. And the reason the people got sick of the bloodline is because they were kind of had the same thing going on where they were like, you know, 3 years in, 4 years in, oh, how many matches are we going to get with interference? How many times is the bloodline going to come save him? So, like, you know, there was a time to end it. That WrestleMania was probably the one. I think they made the absolute right call by not doing it at 39 and getting it another year.
I agree.
I think that was, you know, it would have been just too much too soon just
I
to
agree
have
with
it all
that.
happen.
No, for sure. They called it. I mean, that's why I believe WrestleMania, or WWE, may I say, is having such a tough time to live up to that WrestleMania. And we've been, as fans, we're like, yeah, they've been good, but they haven't been that one. You know, it's like that's been a tough one. It's been a tough one to conquer. And I don't blame us, nor do I blame WWE for it, because it was just a perfect brewing of a storyline for north of like 3 fucking years, or since the
Right.
pandemic, we could say, right? Like it was just insane the way they built that story. It was the perfect storm.
Yeah.
A lot of things worked in their favor for it, and like real life being, and there's always some interesting stuff with real life being involved in a storyline. And but I said this back then, I'll say it again. Finish the story is a great tagline, but once he finished the story, what do we call, you know, do we take a big bow? Triple H and Bruce Pritchard and everybody come out, give you a watch, you take a big bow, you act like it's the fucking finale of WWE. Like they treated WrestleMania 40 like that was it. You know what I mean? They literally all came out and took a bow at the end of the show, like as the lights were going out. I just feel like they set it up where like Avengers Endgame was supposed to be this big ending to everything. And then like a couple months later, they had Shang-Chi come out. And you're like, oh, but you just had Endgame. It's ended. You finished the story, but now Cody's here every week defending the title. What did he finish? Like there was no evolution from finish the story Cody to 2026 Cody. It's the same guy, just without that tagline. It's everything else. It's
Right.
what do you want to talk about? And all this?
It also reminds me a lot, if you bring it back to wrestling, Ultimate Warrior going over on Hulk Hogan. Yeah, he got over. What are we doing with him now? Like it was like that kind of syndrome. Like, oh shit, what are we doing with this guy?
But the ironic thing is that Cody's good and you could use him. Like he could wrestle a match way better than the Ultimate Warrior. So
100%.
I don't get, and I know he doesn't want to turn heel, and I know they don't want to turn him heel, and he does all the merch and blah blah blah. But like something has to change, evolve within this Cody Rhodes character, or it's just people are gonna get sick of him, like they got sick of Hulk Hogan.
You know what? They could have used the Hulk Hogan thing with him, right? Like Hulk Hogan got a little watered down with the yellow and red. And then he went back to, I mean, he became the heel that everybody hated, loved to hate. And then organically the fans asked back for the yellow and red eventually. So they're gonna play that route with him, turn him heel, and eventually there'll be a point that people will want the old blonde Cody, All American Cody, and he could have came back.
I agree.
But he could have definitely been, or you're still there, you could still do it. It's not too late to actually pull the trigger on that, and give us a fresh start with a heel Cody that the average wrestling fan, especially the WWE fan, hasn't been able to experience.
I think everybody needs to get this idea of a heel Cody out of their head. You're not going to see it for a long time. I just don't see it happening. I just feel like he's fallen into the Cena trap, and they're not going to pull the trigger, and it's not going to be anytime soon. I am not saying I wouldn't want to see it. I just don't believe it's going to happen. Hey, baby girl, how are you? Addie's with us. But I don't see it happening. I just don't.
I mean, I'm with you. I don't see it happening either, but I think, that's always the simple solution. I guess they could try and think of another way to tweak the babyface character, but like, imagine if losing to Gunther was like what sent Cody into a spiral, and it's like Cody lost, and now Gunther says, Cody, you're not going to get a rematch. You have to start from the bottom. You're number 10 on the number 1 contenders list, and you need to beat numbers 9 through 1 to get back to me. And like his journey of doing it is like he decides to like take shortcuts and hold the ropes or do something, you know what I mean? Where like every match he's like doing something a little bit more heelish until he's a full-blown heel.
I have a thought, and something we haven't thrown out there as a possibility, but there might be a way Cody does lose to Gunther on Italy.
Disqualification.
We have not seen Sir Randall since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So what if Randy comes back, distraction, throws a quick RKO to Cody, and Gunther chokes him out? It's a possibility.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that. And that's how you get the belt off Cody. And then you don't even have Cody chasing for a rematch right away because now he's tied back in with Orton. The only thing that sucks with that is then we're not seeing Orton continue to chase for 15.
Right. I mean, I guess what you could do is all that stuff that you said. Cody and Randy feud. Randy wins the feud, goes on to face Gunther, and he has to like put his career on the line against Gunther. But this is the first person who challenges Gunther and with their career on the line and actually wins.
I would not hate that.
I don't know if it's too soon for Gunther to break that streak, but it's like, I mean, who else are you going to do? Are we holding on to the Brock, Gunther thing? I don't know where they're going with it. So, but that's just like if I were to do it, that's the way you could do it.
I definitely don't hate that. I definitely don't hate that idea. So definitely some interesting ways they can go. But overall, I'm excited for this clash in Italy. AEW just put on one hell of a pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, sold out in New York City. MJF, spoiler alert, still has his hair, and has retained or regained the AEW Heavyweight Championship. And Darby Allin did one hell of a job. That match was fantastic. That crowd, to be as pumped as they were, and that's the one thing. Like, I will just say this. When it comes to big pay-per-views, AEW doesn't miss. Their pay-per-views are on point, and the matches are great. The pay-per-views are just so fucking long. That's my only gripe. They're just too long. And I was surprised at how energetic that crowd was by the time they got to the main event.
Yeah, but I mean, it really. So the pre-show went from 7 to 8, but the pay-per-view itself went from 8 to midnight ish. And on a Memorial Day weekend, that's fine. I agree in general, their pay-per-views are too long. You could probably trim a couple off of there and make it a little tighter. But and there were probably ones that if I looked at the card, I could probably think of a
It
couple.
also sounds like the fans had the same problem we did at MetLife for WrestleMania, where people got stranded because everything shut down because it was after midnight.
After midnight, and part of that complex is being renovated. Like the I think they were in the Louis Armstrong, and the Arthur Ashe Stadium is being renovated, or the other way around. But either way, both of them are on the same complex, and one of them is shut down for renovation. So they might have redirected things so you didn't walk into that construction. But people were complaining that they tried to exit out the same door they entered in, and that door was locked. And then all the people who were at one end of the building had to turn around to go to the other end, but they met a traffic jam of people who were coming towards that other exit. So then eventually everybody had to turn around and go towards one single exit in an arena. And for almost 15,000 people, whatever it was, that's not
I think
the
it was
best way.
15,000. That's crazy.
I tried to get a ticket because, like, the last time when Forbidden Door was at Belmont 2 years ago on the island, I got a ticket in the nosebleeds for $30, and I paid more for parking than I did for the admission.
Isn't that crazy?
And this time I was going to do it. I was like, oh, Queens, whatever. Let's fucking do it. I go on the app. Even 2 hours before the show, there was only maybe 20 resale seats left, and the base price was $165.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, these resellers usually a couple hours before the show, they drop the prices like ridiculously to try and catch a sale. But these seats were so hot, the actual like Ticketmaster was sold out, and then the only place you could get them was resellers. And then StubHub, like I said, had less than 20 by the time a showtime. So that was like a legit sellout.
Good for them. I mean, that's awesome. The tag team championship.
Oh,
Edge and Christian, or Cope and Cage, finally tag team champions in AEW, with Beth out there too. What a great match, and finally them back together as tag team champions. I always loved Edge and Christian together.
Yeah, and the first tag team championship they've held in 25 years. Both of them retired. Christian retired for 7, Edge retired for 9. They're back. They're tag team champions. I mean, the match itself was amazing because it's FTR, who you already know is good, and then Edge and Christian, and Edge and Christian, even in their advanced years or whatever you want to say, that the twilight of their career, there's an old saying, "I'm as good once as I ever was," and those guys, I mean, they went out there, they put it all. I mean, they were doing dives and crashing through tables and all kinds of shit. Like, and it was the first match of the show. They went out with an I Quit match as the first match of the show. And just like, I mean, they set the bar so high. Everybody else backstage must have been like, oh, we got to follow that. And then they did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that's one thing with AEW consistently is every match, it just outdoes the match before, even when you don't think it can. The International Championship, Takeshita beating Okada. Thekla defeated Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander and Shida in the Fatal 4-Way. I mean, and every match was great. John Moxley defeated Kylie O'Reilly. And then the Owen Hart tournament, Athena beat Mina Shirakawa. Bandito beat Swerve. Samoa Joe beat Will Ospreay. I mean, great matches.
Wow, Bandito beat Swerve?
Yeah.
Wow. Are they pushing Bandito a lot? Because wasn't Swerve one of the hottest guys?
Swerve has actually been pretty vocal lately that he's not happy with the lack of TV time he's been getting lately.
Yeah, I wonder if that's part of the story or what. But like,
I was thinking that definitely.
Too. But yeah, they're. I mean, they're building up Bandito because is he still? I don't know if he's still Ring of Honor World Champion. He probably is. But like, he's hot. He had that Brodito tag team.
Right, I remember
Brody
that.
King, and like that really got both of them over pretty big. So yeah, I think they're Swerve's a made man. So Bandito winning helps Bandito, but it doesn't really hurt Swerve. Right. And then the match that blew me away. I knew it was going to be good, but the match that blew me away was Takeshita and Okada.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Unbelievable.
Aren't they on the in the same stable?
Yeah. So Takeshita,
those days are over.
Takeshita beat Okada, which is awesome. But then the whole Don Callis family comes out and they're like, they're pressing Takeshita a little bit, like they're going to jump him. Kyle, which Kyle is it? Not O'Reilly.
The guy
Kyle
that wears
Fletcher.
a lot of pink.
Yes, Kyle Fletcher's music hits and he comes out. It's the first time he's coming back from an injury. Everybody pops. He shakes hands with Takeshita like everything's cool, and then he's the one that starts the attack on Takeshita. So he jumps him. The Don Callis family jumps him. The whole deal. So now, Takeshita is out of the Don Callis family, but he did win the Continental one, because that's
Continental's Moxley.
So it's whatever the other one is that's part of that 2 title thing that they when they unify them.
Right.
He's got that belt, and that's a nice
international
belt.
Whatever it is.
Yes. Yeah, the international championship. And I think this Takeshita guy, I mean, Kyle Fletcher, but also Takeshita is just so freaking good that he's going to be a big, big main event player.
It was a home run. That whole show was fantastic.
And the main event, I mean, for as much as I think bald MJF would be awesome, and I do think at one point down the line, I think MJF's going to keep putting his hair up as a stipulation over the years, and one of these times he's actually going to lose it.
Yeah, I can see that. It would be so funny.
So I think it would be hilarious. It would be, and I think it's pretty neat that they had 2 matches recently that ended with somebody getting their hair cut, and they went back to it because everyone was expecting, he's going to get his hair cut because the last couple times they've done it, somebody's gotten their head shaved. Well, nope. This is to get the heat back on Max.
Well, and they were speculating maybe Max has a movie gig where he needs to have shorter hair. Like all these theories were being thrown out there. So
like he needs another hair transplant, and this time you got to shave it down and all this other stuff. I don't know. Like there was all kinds of wild speculation, but then it turns out Darby Allin's getting married this month or next month, and he's the one that takes time off. And,
well, listen, if anyone deserves some time off, it's Darby Allin.
He had like a 29, 39-day title run that was a shooting star of great matches, and the last match didn't disappoint. You knew even in his promos, Darby said he's here for a good time, not a long time, basically, and that's what it was. He burned himself out wrestling and challenging, as many challengers as possible, twice a week sometimes. And the capper of it all is at the end of the match, MJF, new champion, looks like he's going to go after Darby Allin. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched the pay-per-view yet. Just mute me for a second. The Jet, Kevin Knight, comes out to save Darby from MJF. MJF backs off and walks up the ramp. They're putting Darby on a stretcher to get him out. And Kevin Knight's standing on the top rope. He looks down at Darby, looks up at the crowd, and everybody's like, oh, no, don't. And he's like, I shall. And he does the UFO frog splash off the top rope onto Darby, who's on the stretcher. He bounces. The stretcher does not fall over, so he has to pick up the stretcher and tip over Darby Allin. And you've got a freshly heel-turned the Jet Kevin Knight. Is he going to align himself with MJF? How's Speedball going to react? What's the fallout from that? So they ended the show not just with a title change, but then a tease with this Kevin Knight stuff.
Definitely a lot went on. It was such a great show. Mick Foley. We didn't even talk about Mick Foley joining AEW now on commentary.
Great.
I loved how he had a pep talk with Darby, and he had one with MJF, which resulted in a low blow to Mick Foley. Mick Foley's looking great, by the way.
Yeah.
He's dropped a lot of weight. Apparently, Tony Khan has gone on record to say if he wants to get in the ring, he's not going to stop him. So I don't know if we're going to get, one more match out of Mick Foley in AEW.
The way he put it was, I'm not going to ask Mick Foley to wrestle. I could never ask him that question.
But if he came to me, I wouldn't say no.
Exactly. So there you go.
He didn't retire officially?
I mean,
sure.
He kind of did. But again, what does that mean in wrestling?
Mick Foley's retired a million fucking times. He
so
retired.
Ric Flair.
He retired in 2000. You know what I mean?
And had 100 matches after that.
Yeah, and he was TNA champion in 2000.
Might I remind you, Brock Lesnar's retired.
He's wrestling.
And he's wrestling on Sunday.
Man, I never saw those papers. That was just Paul Heyman talking shit.
I love that they really treat it like they made it seem like baseball or football. When you retire, you have to file the retirement paperwork.
Right.
So funny.
It's like, what if I just don't show up? I'm retired. You can't. What are you going to do? You're going to ring the bell and count me out? I'm not coming out.
That's so funny. Well, I hope it's a good show, but I thought it was kind of embarrassing to have Saturday night's main event before AEW because AEW just knocked it out of the park. I mean, that Saturday night's main event, I don't know, it was very disappointing.
I saw somebody online said this Saturday night's main event could have been an email.
It's true. It's true. Like nothing. I don't know. I mean, that I will say too. I should have mentioned also the main event tag match was great with the Street Profits.
Right.
It really. I honestly thought towards the end they were going to win. That spot too, where Dawkins pounced the shit out of Braun Breaker over the announce table, like that was well done too. That was a good match.
So
for a minute, I thought Breaker was going to be hurt again. I said, "Oh, that's not good."
I was thinking because remember last week I said something about like, oh, maybe they make a stable out of Rollins and the Street Profits. I think this is the perfect opportunity to split them up. Actually,
I hope they don't.
I hope they do.
I hope they don't.
I don't know. We've been saying it for how many years now that they should have split them up. So at this point, I mean,
and now you just brought back the old gimmick with the Dixie cups and everything. And
they brought the cups back. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, they brought back the solo cups, and not only that, but they were so good together. Like that tag match just proved that they could be tag team champions again for sure. And just being the faces and doing their thing because that match was great. That match was great. I have to say that match was really good. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about at the top of the hour. Is there anything else that we wanted to cover before taking it home?
Yeah, I got one thing. Fuck Goldberg.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that was cool.
Fuck him.
Yeah, that's it. We talked about. I think we covered just about everything that happened. So, thanks guys for tuning in. This is the War Report After Dark. We do it every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com, you type in Tag Me a Date in your search bar, you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll get notified when we go live. If you go to Facebook, type Tag Me a Date in your search bar, hit the thumbs up or the follow button, and you'll see our live stream show up right in your news feed at 9 p.m. If you want to follow us on social media, it's at Tag Me a Date, no spaces, on Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and other platforms. If you want to follow us on TikTok, it's the War Report Podcast. Put that in your search and hit the follow button. If you follow us on social media, we post reels or shorts of the topics we discussed of last week's show in preparation for the show on the next Tuesday. So follow that, like our shorts and reels and all that. And if you prefer an audio version of the podcast instead of the video version, never fear. Just go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Play Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Type in Tag Me a Date, type in the War Report. You'll see our lovely logo that's right there in the middle of the screen. In the description, you'll see our names. Hit that subscribe button, and between Tuesday and Wednesday, Steve or Ryan will grab that audio and upload it to the podcast apps. And as long as you're subscribed, once they upload it, it just goes right to your tablet or your cell phone. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for dropping in. We had Thomas and Tara and David and everybody else and Addie. Thank you. Drop a like and a share and all that stuff on the way out. We will see you next week, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. for another edition of the War Report After Dark. Have a great week.